this concept now, and some of you may have seen this, and this is something that is new to me as well, and I'm still learning it. It was during the first lockdown. I watched a webinar with a coach that works in Northern Ireland's national team's assistant head coach, and he talked about data packing. And I watched the webinar, and I came off at the end, and I thought, this is really good. This is something that could really be beneficial for players instead of the conventional analysis that they get. And the beauty of this data packing is you can interpret it, you can build it in any way that you want, that you feel that's going to maximize and benefit the players you work with. So I started to kind of put together a plan for this when I went back after the first lockdown, and I wanted to kind of slowly progress it across the season. I didn't want to go straight into it flat out as such, because I didn't know enough about it, if I'm honest. So I just wanted to build my knowledge of it, and also with our head of analysis, who works part-time for us, kind of get his gauge on it as well and what he knew about it. So data packing has been a real beneficial part of the program this year, and also it's made it a real competition between the players. So also it makes it more effective during games. But what we got to be careful of is it doesn't come away from how we play, and also the philosophy of how we want to play as well. So this first slide here, this is from the 2014 World Cup semi-final. I think I'm correct. So if you look at the game there, obviously you can see it was, the score line suggests that how the game went. Brazil took considerable, battering really during the game. But if you look at the conventional stats underneath, it tells you a different story. So it says in terms of ball possession, successful tackles, attempts on target, corners and crosses, they were ahead on every single one. So it doesn't show a true reflection sometimes, the stats and the analysis that you get on each player. So I could be a centre back playing to a second centre back, and I might do that 20 times during the game. But on my analysis, on my data, it's saying that I've made successful passes, but how many of them passes have been really effective within that game? So what we did is, this is a little bit of concept of what packing is. So it's called packing and impact. So packing is retaining possession whilst eliminating opponents. And the impact part of it is retaining possession whilst eliminating specifically the last 4 opponents. So that there, they get more points. So it's a point system. So this whole data packing is a point system on how we do it. So the players get points for certain actions that they produce within the game. So this is kind of our in possession model. So they get a point for each one they do, and they get double points if they do an impact action during the game. So it's double points and how many players they take out of the game within that. So this is vertical passes, diagonal passes, dribbling, and what it may look like out of possession. So this again is how you mold and how you shape this. It's not a set in stone way of doing it. It's a product, and it's a source of analysis that you can pull apart, you can move around, you can put your own kind of detail into it. It's entirely up to you. That's the beauty of it. So just to give you a little bit of the follow-up with it. Now, the pecking rate there, as you can see, the impact and the packing rate there, as you can see, Germany during the game had more successful actions that had real effect on the game. So purposeful actions within the game. And that might be one pass to eliminate a back four. Actions they made in that game in the final third of the pitch, which either split a back four, it might have split a midfield unit and a back four at the same time. It may be a 1v1 situation, successful dribbles. It might have been crosses that eliminated opponents as well. And as you can see there, that shows a true reflection to me, in my personal opinion of the game itself. That's why it ended up at that scoreline, because Germany made more successful actions during the game and purposeful actions that allowed them to win by that scoreline. So just a little bit around the point system. So again, we have these little bits and slots for each player. So again, this is kind of in possession. So as you can see there, the conventional way there is the centre half's got it, the five's got it. If he makes that pass there into the 10 and successfully splits that front 3 and that midfield 2 here and here, he gets 5 packing points. So he gets 5 points for each successful action. So again, it's making the players be braver on the ball to play forward and give them a little bit more responsibility to break lines and find ways through. So for that there, if that was a centre half and he made that successful action, he would get 5 points to his total during the game. Again, here, as you can see, again, it would be if he makes a long diagonal pass that splits there and it gets our centre forward on that, he would get 10 packing points because he's eliminated all 10 players. And plus he would get double points because he's eliminated a back 4. So he'd get 10 packing points and he'd get he would get 8 impact points, which eliminates the back 4 here. So you'd get double points for that by eliminating that back 4. So there he would get quite a substantial amount of points to his total. And again, within them actions that you've just seen on them 2 slides, it's about being brave and playing forwards. Now, again, you can mold it and shape it. It could be wingers that dribble past 3 or 4 players. So he might dribble past a midfielder and then he dribbles past a right back and you get double points for dribbling past a right back because he's eliminated the opponent in that last line of defense, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So just a little bit here now. This is from a game back in September against Northampton. And we have one of these put together every week. So as you can see on your screen, this is how the data is collected and how the point system is put together. So as you can see here at the bottom of the screen, the players bypassed. This would be single packing points. So as you can see here with Jack Davis in this bit, he's eliminated 35 opponents literally by just playing through one opponent or breaking a midfield line or playing over or around. So by that I'm saying there is he's basically eliminated 35 opponents during 90 minutes of football. So he's made 35 successful actions, breaking a line with 1 player or 2 players or 3 players. And he's got 2 impact points there, as you can see, where he's played over a back 4 or over a back 3. Now, if I come to Max Crane at the top of the screen here, as you can see, he's really high up. So he's made 30 successful actions by packing points by playing round 1 or 2 or 3 players, but he's really high on this chart here. So he's bypassed, he's got basically there 10 impact points across that. So he's probably got, if you double that, he's probably got nearly 25 points within that, because either a pass has gone down the side of a back 4, it's gone through a back 4, or it's gone over a back 4 as well. So one of these passes in there might have been a long diagonal pass where he's eliminated all 10 opponents outfield and also a back 4 or back 3. So that, again, this has been a really good model for the players to come in on a Monday. It's there for them. And also then we've got a chart for the players and how many points they accumulate across certain blocks of the season. And we find it's been a really good way of getting the players to be braver with the ball, getting them to gauge an understanding of, we don't want to just be a possession team for the sake of it, just by playing square or backwards. We want to be on the front foot playing forwards, and we want to be brave with our decisions, but we also want the players to be brave with their decisions as well, but also not come away of just passing it forward for the sake of it because they might get points. We want them to be structured, and I go back to that key word at the beginning, in control of what they do on the pitch. And that's on the ball, off the ball, but also with their emotions as well. And this is a byproduct really of the work that we've done across the last 12 months. Some of these players have been in the system probably 2 or 3 years, but up to the current date now, up till last week, we've had 7 professional debuts out of the under-18 squad this year. And that's not saying it's down to us. I'm not saying it's all through the 18s work. It's a joint kind of group work, staff that we put opportunities are and to be having 7 professional debuts in the last 14 months from the group considering where we started to where we are now, it's been a huge achievement, and it's been really good to see. And also having a first team staff, manager, coaching staff that believe in the processes as well, and that are brave enough to put these boys in. It just makes the job worthwhile, and that's what we're about. I'm not saying they're all going to go on and have successful careers, but we like to think the program that we put together now for these players puts them in a good place to go and challenge for a contract and get them in the first team environment. But also when they go into the first team environment, nothing ever prepares you for that. It's a different level. It's a different animal when you go into the first team environment. But we've got to give these boys the best possible chance when they go into that environment, that they know what it's about, they know what's coming, but also they can handle that by the work that they've done previous with us in the week, across what they do, individual work, and also the teamwork that they do and the unit stuff that they do as well. Okay. So hopefully you've taken something from that. That's the end of the presentation. Hopefully I haven't bored you enough or spoke too much. And hopefully there you can just see it, and probably what you've seen across there is stuff that you do at your own club. So some of it's probably not jump out, wow, okay. But it's just what we've started to piece together, and we're not the finished article yet. We're still striving to be better. But that's kind of where we are as a football club currently. And we'll look to continue that and keep adding bits to it, so we continue to keep making players better.